Angus, it's lovely to see your garden. I knew you were a gardener when I first met you because you'd bought the cocoa plantation, so I thought, wow. I had not realised you would have such a fantastic garden as this. It's really lovely to see it, and you've obviously been here for ages and nurtured it and got it how you want it.
Yeah, we've been here nearly a third of a century, Bunny, and we've put layers of kind of ideas and hard work into building different room sets, and had a lot of fun doing it. And yeah, we spend a lot of time here at the back of the house, south facing, and it's got a sense of enclosure, and we love eating al fresco and kind of hanging out and having coffees out there. But now it's cold time of the year and everything's clipped back and ready for the frost, and kind of battened down a bit.
But it's all, I can see a lot of glass, a lot of views out from your house into this space. But the way you've designed it, frankly, a landscape like this, I love as much in December, January as I do in July. And I love the way it changes, but it still looks fantastic at any time of year. And a couple of details hit me immediately. And the first is the way you've done this porch over your door. So you've really elevated these doors. You've done this simple tubular steel structure with a nice sort of, it's quite functional looking, but it's also lovely in its proportions. It's over big, isn't it? And it really bigs it up. And I imagine when it's in leaf, it just looks amazing. It's a wisteria, is it?
Yes, wisteria,
yeah. Beautiful wisteria.
And basically it kind of just projects out and gives a bit of depth so that it's not flat walls.
Three-dimensional, punches it out.
That's it, exactly. And we really like it. It's a relatively new addition. We only put it up about 3 years ago.
And you designed it. It's obviously not off the peg, is it?
No, we designed it with a young guy called Alex Graham Cameron, who's local to here, and we've worked with him on various parts of the garden. Actually, it's really interesting. This where we're standing, this terrace, we constructed about nearly 30 years ago, actually, and we worked with Alex when he first became a designer. He was literally a guy in his 20s, and then when we were doing a project, when we were doing this, I looked him up and he was still in business, and we met up again after that huge interval.
Oh wow.
And reconnected again.
And it would be nice for him to come back and see what he'd done 30 years ago.
Yeah, he was, it's very rare for him to be able to get that opportunity to come back and see, almost like an archaeologist, what he'd laid out before.
Oh, very nice indeed. And the other thing that I thought works really well is, I mean, your outdoor furniture, we all love outdoor sofas, but in the UK, in the winter, they look hideous often without cushions. Yeah. But I think that style is really good, but that's an off the peg. You didn't make that.
That's completely off the peg.
Yeah. You won't tell me the brand. You can't remember.
I really can't remember. No,
but it's good. It works really well.
It is. We have cushions, but they get blown around, so they're all kind of battened down.
Yeah.
And then this is again an off the peg.
But you cleaned it, and how do you keep this looking so silvery?
Well, Anthony, our gardener, has got this new power washer. And for years we used to have this problem of it had green on, and the chairs used to look a bit, like you wouldn't really want to
sludgy.
Sludgy, exactly. And with this new technique, they're able to look sharp and nice. And as you say, the winterscape, when we're looking out from the different rooms, it's great to see it set with herbs on, and we found a new dimension for this only recently with that power washer. So.
Oh, right, that's worth knowing.
Yeah.
I think what people don't realise about your arch is, I always think if you can design an off the peg, it's often way less expensive. And it fits the job. You can make it fit your building. And I think the way you've done this cleverly is your garden is reflected by the building layout, isn't it? So the middle of the house, you've done one big space, and then you've got two little side spaces. I think people find breaking up of spaces in gardens the most difficult bit. Because in a house, the rooms are there, but in a garden, you make your spaces. And this is why I love it. That bit relates to that bit relates to that bit, and then you've got a lovely bit of water there. I love your big arch, beach arch, you said at the end,
Yes.
overscaled arch, which leads you out to the informal space. So no, it's. I think it's really successful garden. But you're back to your cocoa plantation. I would love to see your hotel in St Lucia. And how do you do your spaces there? What have you designed there?
Well, a similar approach really. When we bought it, it was just agricultural farm, and there's some historic things which are we can roll with, but also the topography is much more I suppose hardwired rather than the relatively flat landscape you get in this part of the UK.
Yeah.
So you've got the side of quite substantial hills. We've got a lake there as well, and then you've got the agriculture, and so naturally you get these carved out kind of opportunities to do gardens or use the land in a different way. But a lot of it is imposed on us by the history of how that cocoa farm has built up over the centuries.
So if I went there as a guest, I could actually see from trunk to bar, I could see the whole chocolate experience.
Yes, and we really encouraged that. We located the hotel right in the middle of all our cocoa farming activities.
You built it? You actually built the building?
Yes.
Hotel Rabot?
From scratch. And
Rabot.
It's kind of modern tropical design.
And you were obviously influenced there?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had terrific fun doing it. I mean, for example, our restaurant is open on 3 sides to the elements.
Wow.
And so when you dine at night, it's just amazing. You see, the odd bat fly in. It's quite high, so there's a high elevation. And you can see stars. And then during the day, it's shaded, and you've got the tropical breezes blowing through, and you can hear the birds. So we really wanted to bring nature in. But you have to come and see for yourself. That'll be second podcast. We'll do a part 2. Yeah,
yes, that's right. That would be lovely. And I can make my own chocolate.
Yes, from scratch with your own hands.
Oh no, it sounds amazing. So if you could choose where to live, where would you live there? Would you live here? Garden there, garden here?
I like the interplay of both. Really, I find it stimulating being in different locations. But Libby, my wife, will tell you that I just fall in love with different places. Like our second store that we ever did for Hotel Chocolat was in Milton Keynes, and I fell in love with the road system and the town planning of Milton Keynes. I tried to persuade Libby to move, and she wouldn't have it. And then Copenhagen. I love Copenhagen. Different parts of America.
Japan, you've
Tokyo we love.
Yeah, I love Japan.
Could easily live in any of those places.
You're just a butterfly, aren't you? You're all round.
But we've been here a third of a century, so we're not that much of a butterfly. So I think it's a combination of the stimulation you get from being in an environment, and particularly the natural environment. I like to mix it up a bit.
I also think that all my clients that are international, like they've lived in lots of places, they have a much wider view on life. They've so many different cultural influences, and I think because in Britain we are insular and we're not wide enough, and then you go to these different places and you're so stimulated by different thought process, dress, views. The whole thing is just mind-blowing, isn't it? And it is very refreshing and stimulating. No, it's lovely to see this. Thank you very much. We've got to stop because it's so cold today. Why didn't we do this in St Lucia? But anyway, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Bunny.
And I'm going to have a hot chocolate now, if you don't mind.
Yes, of course. Coming up.